Not great headlines. I'm going to start with blue sky's the limit. Okay. Pep targets a third straight Prem crown and he is ready to spend big to win it. And Klopp warns gutted Reds must be perfect to catch them. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. How gutted are they? Did they think that it was going to be real? The crowd, obviously, I don't know if I was listening to the game on the radio and there's this surge of noise around the crowd and Nathan was like, all right, let's go to the Alex. And it's like, I don't know why the crowd is, and Stephen Dawes like, I don't know why everybody's, I don't know what's going on because there's no goals here. And Nathan's like, all right, well, it's obviously somebody in the crowd at Anfield had made a mistake and told everybody, oh, there's been a goal.
Yeah, before Manchester City equalised as well, there seemed to be a murmur around Anfield that Brighton had actually gone 2-0 up. There's actually a picture of a fan going like this to people. So maybe that was an inside agent, just an Everton fan, just putting on a Liverpool jersey for the day. The Irish Examiner goes with off and running. Tip and Clare put down Munster marker with away day wins. Big results for them yesterday in the Championship. 7-year itch, Limerick's done Tip to tee up Senior Football Championship semi-final with Cork. Leinster played too much rugby at the wrong time, believes Donal Lenihan, and the greatest champions special 10-page section as Guardiola City pit Liverpool to the title.
Okay, back page of the Irish Independent this morning is a picture of Pádraig Maher and Liam Sheedy looking pretty happy on Páirc Uí Chaoimh pitch yesterday after the game. What is that? What has he got written? M times M and ASD on his wristband there. City complete the job. Europe, the next frontier for rampant City, but there's no chance Guardiola will sacrifice domestic title. And ready to bounce back, Cullen insists Leinster not a million miles off after Saracens' loss. And Roscommon are through to face Mayo after a routine victory over Leitrim in Football Championship yesterday.
The Times headline goes with the headline, the Times Ireland edition I should say, goes with my toughest title, Guardiola joy as Manchester City retain crown and break Liverpool hearts with their win at Brighton. And Leo Cullen calls for youth investment.
My greatest triumph is the front of the Telegraph this morning, and that is Pep, but it's also Vincent Kompany. Guardiola hails City's history makers as he wins toughest title. Yeah, it's interesting. Who will they buy? We'll talk about that a little bit later on. What can they buy to add to that team at the moment?
The Irish Times goes with Tipperary and Clare make winning starts in Munster. Shane O'Donnell there pictured in the main story there. Guardiola thanks incredible Liverpool, says Dominic Fifield story from the Amex Stadium. And Leinster will improve but not change the model, says Leo Cullen.
Shane O'Donnell's form maybe will make a lot of people think about having 5, 6, 7 months off. He was so amazing and so quick and started the game so fast yesterday that you're like, actually, it looks like he's never been away. City seal it is the back of the Herald this morning, and Kenny still upbeat despite Cat's defeat. Billy Batter's bullied blues is Brent Pope's verdict. I like the alliteration, at least there's a bit of effort going into that. Pep hailed Poole for pushing all the way to the end.
The Irish Daily Mail goes with not done yet. Waterford still in Munster mix, insists Fanning, but it's going to be an uphill battle for them now. And Rob Kearney says Reds lying in wait for wounded Leinster.
City just too good is the back of the Racing Post this morning. Guardiola's men 8-11 on for title hat-trick. So that's next season's prices if you want it. And Broome at the top. Darrenstown winner stakes claim to be O'Brien's Derby #1. So that's that follow on from that victory yesterday.
The back page of the Sun goes with hard man. It's kind of like usually a sarcastic way of saying that somebody is gone above and beyond to show themselves that they're hard. Pep, this is my toughest ever title, and it's rage to be here. Munster's big guns are on alert after a double invasion.
Neil Keegan has been in touch to say, lads, can we not talk about the rugby this morning? The cut is still too raw. And then he was back in touch to say, cheering for a rival losing is the scummiest part of sport. Most Munster supporters wanted Leinster to win. This isn't football. I mean, that's because football has a deeply embedded, centuries-old code where the fans understand what being a fan means. And it's like, not actually scummy. It doesn't matter because it's only sport. And so when I want your team to lose and you want my team to lose, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't mean I hate you because of it. It's just a conversation that we have, and then we go on about our lives because it's just sport. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and then the Wolves fans would be able to tell you that as well. Chanting Raheem Sterling, he's top of the league at Anfield yesterday was kind of funny. Actually, absolutely hilarious, to be quite honest with you. And I see a lot of Liverpool fans very, very angry with Wolverhampton Wanderers supporters this morning.
Well done, Wolves.
They would say that they're scummy supporters.
Oh, it's just a high art of troll.
It really is. It's actually very, very impressive. Speaking of the football, my final newspaper is The Guardian. Pep's party is the back page. Barney Ronay says Manchester City come from behind to finish epic title race with a flourish.
Back at the Star is Peptacular. And it's Pep being given the bumps. Blues boss has treble in sight after edging epic title battle. So it's a treble. It's like, it is a treble. It's not the treble. It's
treble so far, according to Pep Guardiola. Because he's including the Community Shields.
I know, yeah. I mean, he's wrong. But
so the FA Cup would make it. Like, there is this sort of sense of contrived celebration about Manchester City, and I could be way off the mark here.
That's true, isn't it?
It just feels
you did the thing you're supposed to do. Well done.
Or the thing that you really want to do wasn't achieved.
No, it's like
it does feel that. Like when Liverpool, or if Liverpool win the Champions League, it won't be contrived celebration. It will be pure and utter joy because of what happened last year. Because it really, really still means something to them, even if the league
almost
may mean
never
more.
win a Champions League.
Well, exactly. Whereas with this, the flip side is a little bit different. Like the double nature of it is a big achievement, but it just kind of feels that the Champions League was the one. It is still the one thing that this Manchester City team are missing, and Pep bringing them to that level would be a bigger achievement than winning 4 leagues in a row potentially, or a bigger celebration than that.
Yeah, so maybe they'll go on and win 4 leagues in a row, and that's like the greatness would be that they. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like they're a Champions League winning team at the moment, does it?
No, it doesn't. And
keep choking.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Like, we'll get into some of the stories, and like the one thing we wanted to touch on was actually this Manchester City story. I'm not sure how Liverpool fans feel about these comments this morning from Pep Guardiola. I'm not sure, are they patronising or is it just pure joy? I'm sure there wasn't any kind of intent behind it, because like he talks about the most difficult title race because of the quality of Liverpool and the rivalry we faced all season. We made 100 points last season and we had to make 98 this season to retain it, so it means so much. We have to say congratulations to Liverpool and thanks, because they helped us to push and increase our standards. Thank you to our opposition, to our closest rivals. You're very, very good at being second, is what Guardiola is saying. Liverpool helped us to where we are because for the last 2 months we knew we couldn't lose a single point. They had an incredible season, but we did a little better. Like he talks about what they're actually going to do in the transfer market, or suggests what they might do in a transfer market. You talked about Manchester City willing to spend big money, and he says last year we only added Riyad Mahrez and he scored an incredible goal today, so we'll decide what the team needs now. To me that suggests that they're going to make a little bit more than just one signing this season. And like, if you, it's hard to not accept that Manchester City have an embarrassment of riches in terms of their playing personnel right now. But even when it kind of came down to it, the Kevin De Bruyne injury struggles all season, getting the best or getting a much better version out of Alexander Zinchenko at left back this season, like there have been some very good managerial feats, if I can put it to that extent, from Pep Guardiola this year.
Well, getting Vincent Kompany back to be a relevant player who ultimately is unbelievably important at the end of the season.
That's another one. And also as well, the way they had that wobble around Christmas, and John Stones was speaking about the fact that there was some very kind of tough conversations had around that time, and almost Pep changed his mentality. I don't think Pep is one of these coaches that even claims to be somebody who avoids the idea of a trophy. Like, there's great detail by Jamie Jackson this morning in The Guardian, talking about how Pep Guardiola went to the Etihad Stadium and actually kissed a Premier League trophy before he became Manchester City manager. Like, he has this obsession with trophies. He didn't mind that this was the one thing that he wanted to get in terms of his domestic season. Like, it's not fully process driven, next game. But around Christmas time, it changed. It was like, we need a win here badly. And I think that alteration deserves credit. The kind of human level that was required there.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that it's all really difficult to give too much credit for the money and the investment, and the fact that you can literally blitz anybody for any player in the world at the moment that you want, you can have, because you have all the money in the world.
Believe me, my heart's not in this glorification of Manchester City either. It's a really, really hard thing to do, but I do think there is some level of credit required.
All right, we just want to show you this. It is the Irish News back page today. Do we have it? Red Hands rise to the challenge. This was expected to be a cakewalk for Tyrone. Some of us certainly expected it to be a cakewalk for Tyrone. But they win by 6 points in the end, even though they score 1-5 in the last 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
They were definitely a point or two down, and Derry much better than they had been and expected to be, given that they were Division 4. And I think they had an injury just before throw-in as well. And it was like, oh, all right, well, this is going to be very straightforward for Tyrone. I think Tyrone probably sleptwalked a little bit into that too. But look, that's Tyrone's Ulster campaign up and running, and they're going to be hard bet this year.
They probably will be, yeah. Like the whole idea that they revolutionise the way they play in the league, I don't think is. I think that's been overplayed a little bit. I think that we'd seen signs of this last summer at times, and we saw it again yesterday. Like Colin McShane has turned into one of the better inside forwards in the country so far this year. Granted, the big boys haven't started playing proper football yet, but if you were handing out All-Stars right now for football in 2019, he'd probably be on the All-Star list straight away.
How did your power rankings hold up? I mean, obviously you got Tyrone beating Derry, that was fair enough. You got all the rest of them right too, didn't you? You definitely would have got, say, like, oh, the Limerick footballers beating the Tipperary. How did that work out for you, Eoin?
Well, so would you have put Tipperary ahead of Limerick in the power rankings? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't do. I'm humble enough not to do power rankings, Eoin.
Well, I think doing power rankings is actually a great show of humility.
London 32, Limerick 31. The Limerick footballers are the 31st ranked team in Ireland. I don't see Tipperary on that list.
Power rankings.
Oh, the Tipperary, the 18th best team. 18 to 31. What a precipitous fall, and it wasn't even close. That's what they're saying. Screw you, Eoin.
At least they're...
This is for you, Sheehan. We're coming for you next.
There's a reason why Tipperary are 18th and not like 10th. Like they're it's not like that this is
there's 8 teams between 10 and 8.
But this is the very reason why a two-tier championship would work, is that the second tier, Tipperary are, according to my power rankings there, are in the second tier of counties. They would be in it. Like I see somebody, is this Shane McGran, the Irish Daily Mail, says this is a reason why a two-tier championship wouldn't work, because it'd be a tier 1 versus a tier 2 team, and we wouldn't get this encounter. But like, by my kind of view on it, if you get relegated from Division 2, you're in tier 2, therefore you're up against Limerick, and this shock would be possible. That's me conveniently changing the subject away from my power rankings. I accept.
You can get your
everything else,
Limerick and tip scarf there anytime you want.
Everything else is pretty much bang on.
All right, good man, on. Everything else is pretty much bang on. Not embarrassed enough by his own.
We'll change the power rankings. London also had put in a good performance against Galway, so
they did, yeah.
The two of them might be set for rises.